engage in a meaningful dialogue to share insights and discuss the future of finance and accounting in our rapidly evolving world. This interactive meeting not only serves as a bridge, but connecting the policymakers with the practitioners, enabling a synergy that I am confident will pave to more informed decisions and strategies that not only benefits our profession, but also the greater good of our nation. Madam Minister, we look forward for your enlightening address. Though it's an interactive session, it's my humble request if you agree to address us and gaining from your vast experience and deep understanding, both the challenges and opportunities that lies ahead of us. Your perspectives are invaluable in guiding our path forward, especially as we navigate through the complexities of the global economic landscape, adapt to technological advancements, and strive towards achieving the goal of an Atmanirbhar Bharat. In closing, Madam Minister, I would like to express my deepest appreciation for gracing this occasion, and your presence today is invaluable. This interactive meeting was a long due, Bangalore being the biggest branch. We are happy that you are here. Without taking much of the time, let's look forward for a session that promises not only to be informative and enriching, but also a stepping stone towards more robust and vibrant future of our beloved country. Thank you.
Yeah, like any beginning has to be an auspicious beginning. So we have the lighting of the lamp. Ma'am, can I request you to come to the dais, please? So to join the Past President C.A.K. Raghu and B.P. Rao sir, can I request you to come on stage, please?
येष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति येष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्विमाणः निर्विमाणः तदेव शुक्लं तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शितः सर्वे तदूनात्यपि कश्चन एतद्वैता 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 एतद्वैता.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request our Central Council member, C.A. Kota Srinivas, to do a brief introduction and also give an overview.
Sabhage Namaskara. Dignitaries on the dais, Honorable Minister of Finance, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, the Chairman and Secretary of Bangalore branch, the Chairman of SIRC, the past Presidents of ICA and other distinguished members who are present for this interactive session. First of all, let me wholeheartedly welcome on behalf of Bangalore branch, Madam, for this particular interactive session. I think she deserves a big round of applause. This is the first time, if I remember, a Union Minister cabinet level has come to our branch. Madam, as the chairman was telling in discussion, this is the largest branch in the country. ICA has got its head office in Delhi and 5 regional councils, almost 178 branches across India. Bangalore is the largest branch with more than 20,000 chartered accountants. In fact, Madam, previously we touched the active membership of 4 lakh chartered accountants. We have 4 lakh chartered accountants and more than 8.5 lakh students. Together, we should say we are the largest accounting body in the world. So we should be happy that under your ministry, we are working like this. As Madam said, there should not be bigger introduction, only one-line introduction. I've just made 2 words introduction. Madam's name is Nirmala Sitharaman. NS means to give introduction in NS. I should say she is Nari Shakti. Nari Shakti for this country, because we have in our Hindu mythology various goddesses for various activities. We have Saraswati for education, Parvati for courage, and Lakshmi for finance. I should say all the 3 goddesses have blessed the Madam. She is very well educated. The Saraswati has blessed her, and Parvati also blessed her. She was a defense minister of this country. And of course, Lakshmi is also blessed. She is the finance minister of this country. So she is the second defense minister, second finance minister of this country. And the last 2 years, whatever she has budgeted, Madam, under your leadership, the collections have exceeded both in the direct taxes and also in GST. So the credit should go to the Ministry of Finance, and a few credit we will take for the institute also, the members of this profession who have helped day in and day out for the government to get this, garner these collections, Madam. So as we said, it's a very, very auspicious occasion to have the minister with us. And as we know, India 2047 Institute is also completing its 100 years in 2049. We also have a lot of plans, and as we know that we are partners in nation building, whatever the government comes forward, I would like to say, Madam, the 4 lakh chartered accountants and 8,50,000 students of this profession always are with you. Recently, we had an interactive session with CPC Bangalore and also interaction with CBDT chairman. So they were also very happy about the institute and the members of this institute. I only assure you, as a Central Council member, we will continue to work for the development of this profession. Thank you once again for being with us, Madam.
Thank you, sir. Now it's time to hear from the Honorable Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman. Over to you, ma'am.
Good evening to all of you. To the office bearers of the Institute and to all the members, thank you very much for having me here. If your president, right? Chairman, doesn't mistake me, I'd like to certainly put this forward. Initially, I think the organizers wanted me just for an interaction with you. He's had a change of mind. He has come address my people. So, I address you. No, you don't have to apologize. I'm just saying, for good or bad, he wants me to address you. See, I'll take it from the way Honorable Prime Minister spoke to you all. Was it in 2019? 17, is it? When he addressed all over the country chartered accountants, reminding and drawing a parallel with the freedom movement, where at that time during the freedom movement, a lot of lawyers had left their profession, gave up very lucrative professions, and fought for the political freedom of India. And I distinctly remember Honorable Prime Minister saying it is now the time, marking 75th anniversary of India, which was getting closer then, that the chartered accountants, you don't have to give your life or you don't have to, give up your profession, but you have a very big role in building the economic strength of India. That was the larger message that the Prime Minister wanted to give, and that stands very relevant even today. More relevant today because he's also set this very clear target, and I'm not saying ambitious, a very clear target of Viksit Bharat by 2047. I didn't say ambitious because I think it is achievable. It is well within the power and the ability of Indians who have seen once in a century pandemic, a complete lockdown for 3 months, post that a partial lockdown, each state had its own partly opening, partly not opening, some areas getting locked down and the rest of the state being open. So thorough disruption. Moratorium for companies so that they don't go into liquidation. Extension of specially sovereign guaranteed loans. And you were keeping the books balanced even in this kind of a disruptive environment. And post that, you're also seeing your own clients recovering from their difficulties. You're giving them advice about how the opening up actually is seeing a lot of newer developments, the kind of reforms which the government has taken, ease of doing business, which is now benefiting most sectors, and people are realizing that life can be simpler than what it was earlier. Like chartered accountants, for instance, I'm sure your headache about your clients' income tax details, not that your client is not wanting to give details, not that you don't want to do a fair job of it, but when pre-filled forms come from the board, the CBDT, you breathe a sense of relief, and your client also says, oh my God, yes, I did forget this one, yes, it has to be included. Or he says, no, this is not mine, please go back and check it out. So there is a lot of trust coming in this whole exercise, where the government trusts taxpayers, wants to take them on board to say, look, this is what we are finding in our system, something which pertains to you, a fixed deposit which you've forgotten. You got transferred from one place A to place B. You left your deposit there and you didn't include it. Would you want to include it? You realize not just for tax purpose, even your money, you want to go and pick it up. So like that, once these kind of technology-driven, trust-enriching steps which are being taken by the government, you as a professional realize that technology is doing good to you and to the client. Of course, it is doing good to the government. So, as we progress with the core essentials of chartered accountancy, you also realize competency in technology-driven keeping of accounts is now becoming more essential. Because it gives you an advantage. You can't be laid back to say, no, I'm keeping the books balance, somebody will look at the account. It is actually being tailored for every individual to file his return on his own. And for small businesses, in fact, I remember the first year of my becoming finance ministry, part of the finance ministry, there was thorough hatred. My God, your profession would want to be chopping my neck off. I didn't mind, because I can understand. We wanted the small companies to be free to do their own because the technology is there for you to fill up your own. And if the government was to give the message that we believe in you, you file your tax returns, you don't need to be certifying, a chartered accountant need not be certifying your accounts. It made their life simple. It wasn't to deny anybody their professional earning. It does bring in a lot of sense of ease for a very small business, because everything that you in your professional knowledge would tell him, do this and not do that. If you do this, there's an advantage. If you do that, there's not so much of it. Is all now being done by technology. Of course, it can't be for medium-sized or large companies. The complications, the layers, the calibration, the more studied way of handling it, where you can be advised to plan your portfolios in such a way that you have better savings, there of course it is essential. So like that, technology was used to bring in greater ease for both assessee and for the professionals who are advising their clients. And so is it with GST. Now with the tribunals getting formed, I'm sure many of your little doubts, disputes, all will get solved in each of the states at the state level itself. And once you get used to it with a couple of cases, you're going to be able to fine-tune it to perform even better. With experience, you're able to tell the government saying, do you want to do it this way? Do you want to do that way? And improve the system, because system works for both the parties. In this case, it works for three. And therefore, the approach Government of India has taken is to expect from chartered accountants to enable and to help in greater formalization of the Indian economy. We need more people to get onto the system. You can't remain in the shadow of the system, flourish there, but have occasional interaction with those who are in the formal system itself. So you can't really be surviving only being out of the system and functioning, saying I have nothing to do with the taxation, I'm too small, I will remain out of taxation. I can continue with that. You can continue like that, nobody's stopping you, there's no force. But the benefits you, your business and the Indian economy can reap will be very limited. So the more you are able to interact with businesses which are small and who still remain in the informal, there is a need to build awareness to say, don't fear getting onto the formal system, because the normal fear is once I come there, I'll have to pay tax. It's not just for paying tax. You may end up not paying tax at all, even after coming onto the formal. You're coming on because you can reap the benefit of this open big world into which a lot of people are coming on board. Look what the digital payments have done. People didn't fear, if I get in there, I may end up paying tax. No. Why? Because they knew the transaction ease, the speed, and the access to newer markets are all doing good for his business. Why is that not happening, let us say, among small businesses? You need a digital revolution even in that area. Because the sense of fear that people have got built in their heads about, oh, this will mean that I'll have to submit an account every year, file my returns every year. It means I'm opening my systems up so that taxman is going to be after me. That is the fear which has to go out of people's minds. Because the benefit that you reap once you come onto the formal system is far more than what you can account for now. So that is one thing I would certainly elaborate, drawing from what Prime Minister spoke to you all. And that is absolutely now critical, because if by 2047 we want to leave an India for our future generations, for our children, for our grandchildren, to be happy and proud to live here. Today, people are going out for jobs. It is probably the reverse migration has started in the global sense. A lot of people are finding businesses, professions, career to be built in India, who have a global footprint as well. I would think that is a very good beginning to make, but by 2047, ideally, India should be a country which is worth for our grandchildren to stay and live and lead their lives and contribute to the country, rather than run away from here because opportunities, job satisfaction, career enhancement are better there and not here. That is where I think you have a very big role to play, not just with your profession, but also with your clients. Periodically also inform them about the improvements which are happening in the system, not just use of technology, but also the way in which professions are widening, the opportunities that are coming before us. I'm very glad to hear a lot of interest being shown about the International Financial Services Center, GIFT City, even when I was seated downstairs, and also in the earlier gathering, there's a lot of interest about IFSC, especially after chartered accountancy and financial services have all gone on to become part of the portfolio that GIFT City would handle. And something which I said in Gujarat the day before yesterday, I think it was also a gathering of chartered accountants. I did tell them that the GIFT City is envisaged to be not an Indian territory, but a territory located in India, like an SEZ, Special Economic Zone, for financial purposes. Of course, it does now ship leasing, aircrafts maintenance, repair, and so on, but many others as well. It is a territory located in India, but with all the global financial best practices in there. So the front door of, exactly this is what I told in Gujarat, the front door of IFSC is opened for all global operators in fintech, in banking, in bullion exchange, in stock operations, and insurance, also in ship leasing, also now fintech, inclusive of accountancy, insurance, and so on. The front door is open so that the global investors, global banks, global insurance companies, leasing companies can all come to India. But having located such an international financial services center in India and inviting all these to come, the front door kept open with all kinds of legislative and regulative practices simplified. One window regulation, you're not going to IRDAI separately, NAFRA separately, RBI separately, and so on, SEBI separately, and so on. All of them are together there in one entity. Now, if that has been done, it's with an intention that that will legitimately send the benefits to India. So I used an expression, if the front door is open for investors, operators, banks to come in there, global banks to come in there, global insurance to come in there, the back door, not the proverbial negative back door, but the other back door, which is inward opening, should send the benefits of all these operations for India. So it's not as if it's a door through which Indian businesses go outside. It's not a door through which Indian professionals go outside. It is a global financial hub which will draw the global best of institutions there so that India also can benefit from it. Those best practices should give the necessary collateral benefit for us. So as an opening statement, I leave it there, but I'm sure there's a lot more to talk about how Government of India has been very actively engaging with several countries for mutual recognition, so that chartered accountants from India are recognized as professionals in other countries as well. But before I say this, one other thing which, like the pre-filled form comes for the tax assessee, I want to say there has been a very enthusiastic forward movement in the advanced pricing agreements that we're doing. So at least global trade doesn't have to be worried about what implication, tax implication they'll have to bear. Now I think nearly 14 or 15 of them already have been signed. So these are practices through which companies are able to have certainty in taxation, as a result of which doing in India, taxation, government policy can all be on a firm, predictable, stable footing, as opposed to a time when we went back to doing retrospective tax, much to the dislike of the global community and for Indians themselves. Because it sends a kind of fear saying, how backward would you go? So Prime Minister Modi and the government have been very progressive, future-looking. The mutual agreements or the advanced pricing are all going to help in the simplification of the tax assessee's approach towards taxation. So I'll stop here. Of course, if there's anything more, you can always talk. Thank you.